audio check, 1, 2, 3, checking the audio. Here we are then, guys. We're about to go racing here for the first race of the night at the Hungaroring, round 7 of 8 for the GT3 Sprint League at Motive, and it looks like we're underway here as we're just getting off of the line. And Tynus and House there started on pole position, but can he hold on to it coming into turn 1? You've got Max Power looking down the middle. You've also got G Sanks on the outside as Max Power gives Tynus a bit of a tap there coming into turn 1. Is going to get the lead here as a result. So Max Power moved himself through up into the lead. Max Power was supposed to have a qualifying ban for this race, so I'm not quite sure why that hasn't been communicated to him, but obviously I'll let him explain himself after the race, and he will need to serve a ban at some point. But nonetheless, it's Tynus here from Max Power in second with G Sanks in third place. Looks like quite a clean start from all the drivers so far. Looking down the order, has anybody dropped it or made a mistake? I think somebody has dropped it. I know it's Capriga who started from the pit, so obviously we expected him to be down the pack, but currently coming through towards the end of the first sector here on lap 1. Seems to be quite a clean start. Low 3000 has gone a bit wide there, and Kangi's going to look up the inside into the chicane, so Kangi's going to move himself through up into P10 there. But it's Tynus from Max Power from G Sanks to top 3. Ludo running in 4th place ahead of Shark Azuli, followed by Totally Zero, and a bit of contact there, as it looked like Totally Zero just tapping Shark Azuli in the rear a little bit there. But no dramas at the moment. We're all clean and we're all through, and we're all surviving for the time being on this opening lap. Looking down the order here, we've got 19 drivers on the track here tonight. Great turnout here for the Sprint League on a Wednesday tonight, as we've got a move being shaped up here. We've got TJ Carla looking down the inside of PS Vids. Can he make the move? PS Vids are trying to hold it around the outside, and has kept himself there on the inside here for the penultimate corner. TJ now looking to try and get a cut back here. PS Vids getting it parked on the inside. No way through there for TJ. TJ making his debut tonight here at Motive, and now trying to put the pressure here on an experienced veteran of the leagues. PS Vids are GT3 Championship champion for Season 2 on a Sunday, and he's currently running in P7 here in the early stages of this race. Max Power's got G Sanks all over the back of him here, coming down towards turn 1. Ludo there in 4th ahead of Shark Azuli, followed by Totally Zero. There's PS Vids in the background. We can see a move being shaped up, or is that Kangi actually trying to defend from low 3000? He's trying to attack on Crazy Legs at the same time here as they come in through turn 1. But Crazy Legs for the time being still running just ahead of him. Low 3000 has got pressure here from Kevsim as they're coming down towards turn 2. Is Kevsim going to be able to make a move? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to just at the moment then, and we're all still continuing on our way. No dramas here then, so it's been a very clean first lap to this race. Absolutely superb stuff here from these drivers. Tynus just keeping his gap to Max Power and G Sanks quite healthy. It's the best part of a second between him and the other two. PS Vid's trying to attack on the back of Totally Zero here. TJ Carter's just dropped off at him ever so slightly, but PS Vid's here looking to the inside on Totally Zero coming into the chicane, but he's too far back just at the moment and has to wait a little bit longer for his opportunity here. But really good racing so far in the first couple of laps here for the opening race of the night. Obviously 2 races per night for the Sprint League here on a Wednesday on the PlayStation 5 at Motive. Oh, Snoopy there goes a little bit deep, and Ferdinand looking to the outside. Oh, and Ferdinand there's lost it. Was he tapped in the rear there by Fierce Mars? I think he might have been, because Fierce Mars has got damage and has clearly been into him there. So those two coming together, and that's moved Day up a position, as well as Raki and DW Racing also up a position as well. And Fierce Mars down to 19th place here, Ferdinand into 18th, so they've both lost a load of places here, and that's not gone to plan for either of those two at all. So they'll both be extremely frustrated with that one. But in the meantime, Tynus leading ahead of Max Power with G Sanks there in 3rd place. Max Power's got to serve his qualifying ban in the next race though, because he obviously was supposed to do it for this race, but I think it might not have been communicated to him. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt here, but he needs to serve that qualifying ban tonight. Otherwise, I will literally be kicking him out of the league, because it's ridiculous. I mean, it said it in inquiry replies. There's no excuse for him not to have seen it. I will give him the benefit of the doubt, but if he doesn't serve that qualifying ban in the second race here tonight, then he's gone. But nonetheless, looking at the rest of them, there's Fierce Mars obviously with damage after clipping the back of Ferdinand, and Ferdinand with has really been screwed over by that, even more than Fierce Mars was. Tynus is extending his gap here over Max Power and G-Sanks. He's now just over a second ahead, and Tynus looking to try and make it another win here in this GT3 Sprint League this season. He's had an absolute stellar season so far. He's taken double wins in all but 3 of the rounds. So 3 of the rounds we've had so far, he's taken the double, and then he's taken at least 1 win in the other 3 rounds that we've had. So he's taken, what is it? He's taken 9 wins in this season so far from 12 races. It's been really quite an unbelievable season in this Sprint League, and obviously he's taken all 6 wins on a Sunday for the GT3 Championship. So altogether, when you combine everything, he's taken 15 wins from 18 races so far in season 14. He's been a man on a mission this season as Tynus. We go back to PS Vids, who's trying to defend here from TJ going into the middle part of the lap. You've also got Kev Sim trying to attack on Lol 3000 as well, but for the time being tucking in here. But Tynus in house is extending his gap bit by bit. G-Sanks trying to creep closer to the back of Max Power here as they're coming out onto the start-finish straight once again. But still no change in the order between these two at this point. You just hate it when a computer is so slow that you try and load a tab up and then you have to wait a minute for it to even do anything. It's just ridiculous. I hate this. I'm trying to multitask, I'm trying to use the computer, I'm trying to do something else here whilst I'm commentating. But we've got Kangi here, who's got Crazy Legs up his inside, and Crazy Legs has made that move up into 9th place. So Crazy Legs there with a beautiful manoeuvre, getting ahead of one of our experienced drivers here on his first race ever here tonight, Crazy Legs. So making his debut on the channel, and he's currently doing a solid job here then. Now he can try and chase down the guys up ahead like Totally Zero, PS Vids and TJ. These 3 currently running in 6th, 7th and 8th places. So what can Crazy Legs do here on his first ever appearance on the Motive channel here tonight? G-Sanks still all over the back of Max Power in that battle for 2nd place. Those 2 obviously locked horns. G-Sanks will be feeling a little bit robbed of this one though, because obviously Max Power shouldn't even be in this position. He should have started at the back really, due to his qualifying ban, but due to some kind of communication error, I'm not quite sure what, he's pretty much not in a position to, or G-Sanks isn't in a position where he can really challenge Tynus for the win. So that's going to be a real kick in the teeth there for him so far. Ludo running in 4th place. Not too far off the pace of the top 3, but not quite on their level so far. PS Vids still defending from TJ Carlo as they're coming into the final corner. TJ Carlo all over the back of him here as we come out of the final corner. Can TJ get a good run here coming down the start finish straight? He's going to pull out the slipstream now as they're going to be side by side here down the start finish straight. PS Vids is going to have to leave the door open here. TJ Carlo's alongside him coming in towards turn 1. Is he going to send one up the inside? PS Vids goes a lot later on the brakes than TJ does, and PS Vids is able to cover him off as a result. So no dice there for TJ Carlo, and he's going to have to just keep waiting and watching and hoping that he might be able to force PS Vids into a mistake here. But it's still Tynus out the front who is doing the business at this point, and his gap to Max Power and G-Sanks is extending bit by bit, over 2 seconds now to those 2. You've got Ludo there who's running ahead of Sharka Zulu still. Totally Zero's got PS Vids and TJ closing up onto the back of him a little bit now. Crazy Legs hasn't been able to gap Kangi either, so obviously Crazy Legs made the move in him a couple of laps ago, and those 2 are still pretty close. So Kangi showing that he's still got what it takes to keep up with him. Currently Kev Sim is still on the back of Lol 3000. Lol 3000 can went a little bit deep coming into that section of the track, but still keeping it pinned at this point. Raki in the meantime has managed to get onto the back of Caprigia here. Oh no, Raki's been tagged. Oh, Raki's been tagged there by Caprigia. It was Caprigia who was behind him, and unfortunately Raki's gone into the back of Day, an unfortunate victim there. Just was stuck in the middle of a sandwich there, and well, Raki was one in the sandwich. It was Caprigia who pushed Raki into Day, and Raki's able to continue on his way. No, Raki's waiting for Day, so both of those 2 letting Day through, and Raki obviously had nowhere to go. Was at no fault for that one whatsoever. He was pushed in the back from Caprigia. That was entirely on Caprigia, and Caprigia doing a sportsman-like thing and waiting for both of them to get going again there. But yeah, Day essentially losing time due to that, but being given the positions back, I guess. So sportsman-like behaviour, but still not ideal for Day, obviously, because he had no fault for that whatsoever. But Max Power still in 2nd place, and this battle between Max Power and G-Sanks now considerably offered a battle for the lead, because Tynus is currently 3 seconds up the road there going through turn 2. So this is now, I think, pretty much the summit of these two's ambitions here in this first race. Ludo's still there in 4th place. Sharka Zulu running in solitary confinement there in 5th place. You've got Totally Zero ahead of PS Vids and TJ. Then you've got Kangi, who's just ahead of Crazy Legs going through turn 2. There's Kev Sim in the background ahead of Lol 3000, followed by Snoopy there in P13. Bit of a gap back to DW Racing, who's actually been passed there by Fierce Mars. So Fierce Mars is up into 14th place. I haven't seen where he did that one, but Fierce Mars has gained a position there. There's the battle between Dave, Fednad and Capriga, obviously due to that collision which we saw between Capriga and Day, and obviously Raki as well. Raki's well off of these guys now, running in P19. Has not been the race so far for him. Oh, saying that, he's been moved up a position, because I think Day has called it a day here. That's completely unintended pun, but Day has pulled off to the side of the road here. He's on the grass there on the exit of turn 2, and he's actually left the server. So hopefully he's going to stick with it. Hopefully he'll persevere for the second race, because we've got more action lined up here tonight. Plenty more racing to cut his teeth into, and obviously that was a completely accidental mistake there, Day. If you're watching the stream, mate, I saw that happen. I saw it all go on. It was basically, all it was Capriga outbraked himself, went into the back of Raki, and Raki went into the back of you. Completely unintentional. It was one of those racing incidents. I know it must feel like you're always the one who suffers for it. Oh, honestly, mate, it was a complete and utter coincidence that you happened to be there. I promise you that. It just was a complete and utter racing incident. It was the most racingest incident I've ever seen in my life. I mean, technically it was Capriga's fault, and I think Capriga would probably accept that a penalty be coming in his way if you do put in an inquiry. I can pretty much tell you with some degree of certainty that will be the case. But in terms of unintentional, I think you've got to say it was 100% unintentional. But currently Totally Zero, PS Vids and DJ Carlo still running in 6th, 7th and 8th places. You've got Kangi there, who's got Crazy Legs now just nearly a second behind him. So Kangi has actually got ahead of Crazy Legs and gapped him by a little bit here. But this battle ahead of them might be able to bring these guys a little bit closer, because obviously with these three battling, it will allow them to just get the hammer down and bring themselves into this fight. Totally Zero, PS Vids and TJ Carlo running quite close. Racingness incident. No, I said racingist incident. That was completely, I mean, my vocabulary is just absolute shite. But anyway, PS Vids looking down the inside here of Totally Zero into the chicane. Totally Zero trying to hold it around the outside, keeping himself there. PS Vids with a better exit, and he's going to get the move done. And Totally Zero is going to lose out here to TJ Carlo as well. So TJ getting through. Oh, and he gets a bit of a slide there as TJ gets it turned in nonetheless. Goes a little bit wide onto the marbles. So does Totally Zero. And Kangi's going to be looking to try and get involved in this as well. Kangi around the outside of Totally Zero. Totally Zero losing 3 places in the space of about 3 corners there. And the result of it is that PS Vids is up into P6 here in this race, with TJ, Kangi, Totally Zero and Crazy Legs now on the back of Totally Zero as well. But yeah, Totally Zero will be absolutely fuming after that sequence of corners which saw him drop from 6th down to 9th place very, very quickly there. PS Vids now trying to gap these guys and maybe try and chase after Sharka Zulu. The gap to Sharka Zulu 5 seconds. We've got 17 minutes left on the clock, so we're probably going to have, I reckon, about 10 more laps here in this race. Is 10 laps enough for PS Vids to close a 5-second gap here to Sharka Zulu, potentially? Because I know that PS Vids is quick around here. I know that for a fact. He's won around here before. It was the last race of Season 2 for the main GT3 Championship on a Sunday. He managed to take the race victory and the championship with it as well, with ultra consistency throughout the course of that season. PS Vids was the man throughout the course of Season 2. He was the man to be. He was always on the podium, or always close to the podium. I remember standout drive for PS Vids that season was actually the Misano race. The Hungary race wasn't even his best one. The standout was the Misano from the pit lane to 2nd place. An unbelievable drive there that night, but yeah, currently doing good around the track, which I know he likes here at the Hungaroring. You've got TJ Carlo running just ahead of Kangi. There's Totally Zero ahead of Crazy Legs, but these guys are all dropping off of PS Vids now, who seems to now be getting into a bit of a groove. Now he's got clean air, now he's got a clear track in front of him. He's able to really unleash his potential around this Hungaroring. But we've got to go back to the bottom for 2nd and 3rd places, because Max Power and G-Sanks are still running quite close here, as G-Sanks looking to the inside here on Max Power, but he's a little bit too far back just at the moment. Has to continue waiting for his opportunity here. He's been on the back of Max Power for pretty much the entirety of this race. As I said earlier on, Max Power shouldn't even be in this position, because he was supposed to serve a qualifying ban. And I've said earlier on, I am willing to give him the benefit of the doubt as long as he serves it in the 2nd race. but if he doesn't, I'm going to be really cross. I'm going to be seriously cross, and there'll be consequences, because it was posted very, very clearly on the Discord server in inquiry replies. Anybody can read it. And G Sanks there pushing Max Power out of the way. A bit of a push to pass there. A very naughty move there from G Sanks. He moves himself through up into second place. Very unsportsmanlike there from G Sanks. I wouldn't say it was completely unjustified, if I'm honest, with the context of the situation very much taken into account. But G Sanks there up into second place nonetheless, ahead of Max Power, and can now try and chase down Tynus, who continues to lead this race. Well clear of these two at this point. Got to go back to the battle here between Totally Zero and Crazy Legs, because Crazy Legs has got ahead of Totally Zero actually, but Totally Zero is trying to come back at him as Crazy Legs there lets him pass coming up the hill. So not quite sure why he let him pass, didn't really need to, but Totally Zero back up into 9th place there nonetheless. That was a bit of a anticlimax, but Kevsim now arriving on the back of these guys here. In fact, Kevsim, what's happened to him? Because he's dropped off of them, so I don't know what happened to him there. And in fact, hold on a sec, why is Crazy Legs now behind Kevsim? What has happened here? What has gone on there? I don't quite know. So, yeah. Something's happened to Crazy Legs, he's dropped it somewhere, and he's now in 11th place behind Kevsim, so that's a strange one. Didn't really see that one coming about. Hanging on the back of TJ Carlo. This is the battle for 7th and 8th places here. These guys are now well over a second behind PS Fids. PS Fids is closing the gap to Shaka Zulu. He's closing it by about, I'd say about a few tenths a lap. Yeah, he really needs about half a second a lap at least if he's to bring that gap down and catch him before the end of the race. So he needs to find a little bit more time here over the course of a lap, over the course of each lap, if he is to be able to finish in the top 5 here in his first race of the night. But TJ Carlo and Kangi there coming over the line. In fact, TJ Carlo is keeping the gap to PS Fids. Quite honest here, PS Fids is just over a second ahead of these two at this point. So yeah, it's kind of ebbing and flowing actually, the gap between PS Fids and TJ Carlo. G Sanks still running ahead of Max Power. You've got Ludo there running in 4th place at this stage. He's a few seconds clear of Shaka Zulu, who's running in 5th place. It's still TJ Carlo ahead of Kangi in this battle for 7th and 8th places here. G Sanks just under a second ahead of Max Power at this point. You can see these two still running in 2nd and 3rd places, but G Sanks starting to gap Max Power just a little bit at this stage in the race now. Looking at the battle for P13 here, Lowell 3000 is shared of Fierce Mars. So Fierce Mars has gained a little bit on him over the last couple of laps. And Fierce Mars now looking to try and move himself up to P13 as they're coming out onto the start-finish straight here. Over the line we come here to start lap 11. And Fierce Mars getting a little bit of closing speed here, but I think it's going to be a little bit too far back as they come into turn 1. Yeah, it's a little bit too far. Oh, he's going to go for it. He's going to summon up the inside here. Fierce Mars goes a little bit deep, and Lowell 3000 is going to get a cut back here, coming out of turn 1 and down towards turn 2. Lowell 3000 just edging ahead here. Fierce Mars still on the inside though. Is looking to try and send one back down the inside into turn 2, but Lowell 3000 holding around the outside, and looks like he'll hold on to it for turn 3. They're still quite close here. Fierce Mars might be able to get a better run. Oh, he gives Lowell 3000 a bit of a tap there as they came out of turn 3. Up towards turn 4 we go, and Lowell 3000 still holding on to that position by the skin of his teeth there. Fierce Mars almost turning him round there going through turn 3, but they hold on to it and they keep going without any dramas here. That was a close call there from both of those two. In the two of the 3 Audis on the track, Sharkazulu being in the other one. And noticing on the timing screen as well that PS Vids is closing the gap to Sharkazulu by quite a bit. Also noticing that Kangi is now ahead of TJ Carlo, so Kangi's made that move somewhere, not sure where, but TJ's trying to come back at him into the ultimate corner. Oh, and TJ there with a rash move up the inside. He'll have to give that one back, surely, you would think. Kangi there getting it going again, just in front of Totally Zero. TJ is waiting for him, I think, so TJ will be letting him pass down the main straight, you'd think. And Kangi will be here coming up on the scene. The thing is, though, because TJ's in a bit of a precarious position here, he's got to let Kangi back through, but he's also got to let Totally Zero, well, he's got to try and let Kangi through without letting Totally Zero through. Or is he just going to wait for him? He might not let him through, he might just wait for him. That's something that you see. I mean, it's not that, I wouldn't say that, no, he's going to let him pass. He's letting him pass, fair play. So obviously TJ making that mistake, but very sportsmanlike in allowing him to retake the position again. So we can all continue on our way, and Totally Zero tucks in behind him and doesn't manage to get ahead of TJ just there then. But you know, it's been good racing tonight. You know, when there's been incidents, when there's been little scuffles, drivers have been very, very sportsmanlike. They've given the positions back. There's not been any messing around. There's not been any rude, obnoxious kind of behaviour between the drivers. It's been very respectful indeed from what we've seen here tonight. Absolutely superb stuff from all the guys. Oh, it's low 3000 goes a little bit deep there coming through the chicane. Can Fierce Mars punish him for that one? No, he can't. Tucks in for the time being. Low 3000 goes really deep there coming through that section. Fierce Mars getting closer and closer, but is he going to be able to pounce here? TJ in the meantime still just ahead of Totally Zero, but Totally Zero is close up to the back of him. Kangi's gapped TJ in the last couple of laps since getting ahead of him. There's TJ, there's Totally Zero as they're coming out onto the start finish straight. Totally Zero is too far away from TJ to be able to make a move coming into turn one. What about Fierce Mars on the back of Lower 3000? Can he get a good run coming out of the final corner and set himself up here nicely into turn one? Doesn't look like he's close enough really coming down the main straight. Surely he's not going to be able to send one from there. Nah, he's way too far back, not a chance. He's going to have to keep waiting patiently here is Fierce Mars. He's going a lot later on the brakes than Lower 3000 is coming into turn one, and he's still getting it turned in as well. And he's got damage on the car obviously, which will be affecting his performance a little bit at this stage as well. But he's doing a good job tonight. He's doing well, considering everything, considering the early woes that he had. He's really got back into it nicely. Keeping an eye on the battle between Sharkazulu and PS Vids. The gap is now under 2 seconds. I was saying earlier on, once PS Vids cleared the battle that he was in before, I said that his target would have to be Sharkazulu. The gap was about 5 seconds when I first noticed it. It's now about just under 2 seconds. I reckon on average PS Vids is closing the gap by around half a second a lap. So by that sort of rationale, he should be in striking distance in about 2 laps time, and in about 2 laps time we'll have about 2 laps left in the race. So PS Vids is probably going to have a window of about 2 or 3 laps where he's going to be able to have a crack here at Sharkazulu to try and make the position. Obviously catching up is one thing, as we all know, overtaking is quite another. But can PS Vids manage to execute this plan, which he's been probably going over in his head a few times at this point over the last few laps? 1.2 seconds the gap here between Sharkazulu and Vids here as we come up towards turn one, but just a little bit too far away at this point obviously. But as I said before, in a lap or two's time he could be in striking distance here. The opportunity may well present itself. But Kev's in ahead of Crazy Legs in the battle coming into turn one. Crazy Legs goes a little bit deep there into turn one, gets it turned in nonetheless, but these guys holding position right now. There's Sharkazulu and PS Vids. You can see the gap now potentially under a second. It might just be dipping under a second between these two at this point. Totally Zero's backing up Kev Sim and Crazy Legs. You can see both of these two all over the back of him. Lower 3000 and Fierce Mars are still having their battle over 13th place as well. We've got to keep an eye on all these battles right now. We've got Shark Zulu and PS Vids, we've got Totally Zero, Kev Sim and Crazy Legs, and also Lower 3000 and Fierce Mars. And in fact, have these two come together here, because they've lost out to DW Racing and they've also lost out to Raki as well. So I think these two have had a collision, because they have dropped a few places here. They must have had a collision, because Lower 3000 has got damage here. So I think these two have had a bit of a scuffle and have had to, basically one of them's had to let the other back through again. I reckon Fierce Mars might have taken Lower 3000 out and has had to let him back past. I think that's potentially what's happened here. Also, I want to apologise for that. That was a hiccup. But Shark Zulu and PS Fit's coming over the line here to start lap 15 of the race. Just under a second here between him now, and PS Fit's still not close enough to send one up the inside, but he's just that little bit closer to be able to apply a bit more pressure as he goes a bit deep into turn one, but still gets it turned in nonetheless. But he's now close enough to be able to be living in Shark Zulu's head rent free, and Shark Zulu's going to be thinking about how he's going to defend this position. He's going to be fully aware that one little mistake, one little overcorrection, or running wide, or going too late on the brakes is going to cost him a position here and knock him out of the top 5 spot. PS Fit has been reading him in lap after lap after lap, and now finds himself, as I said, on the cusp here of a top 5 in this first race of the night here at the Hungaroring. Tynus still extending his gap over G-Sanks, nearly 6 seconds. Not the dominance that we've seen Tynus exert in the past, but still very much on a level above G-Sanks here in this first race. But by no means absolutely running off into the distance like we have seen in the past, that's for sure. G-Sanks has kept him reasonably honest, and when you consider the fact that also G-Sanks was stuck behind Max Power for a considerable amount of the race as well, these two have both been on the same page as Tynus throughout the course of this race. Not able to challenge him, but they haven't been a million miles away. PS Vid's still on the back of Shark Zulu here as we're coming into the final sector here on lap 15 of the race. We've got, I reckon, probably we're going to have 3 more laps, because Tynus crossed the line with 3:35 on the clock. Now, those of you who race Hungaroring will know it's about a 1:46 lap for a driver like Tynus. So I reckon it's probably going to be 3 more laps. We'll probably come over the line just about in time to start lap 18. If my calculations are correct. They could be wrong, but I don't think they are. I think we should have an 18 lap race here for the opening race of the night. Totally Zero in the meantime still just ahead of Kev Sim. Crazy Legs is right on the back of Kev Sim though as they come down towards turn 1 again. His Crazy Legs going to be close enough to send up the inside on Kev Sim. He's going to think about it, but he just can't quite get there at this point. And they will never get their way through turn 1 without any dramas. Shark Zulu still just ahead of PS Vids as they come up the hill towards turn 4. It's battle though for 9th, 10th and 11th places here between Totally Zero, Kev Sim and Crazy Legs as they're coming through turn 5 at the moment, down towards that 6 and 7 chicane. And you can see there Kev Sim's getting a little bit closer to the back of Totally Zero. Crazy Legs though keeping Kev Sim pretty much in a bit of a sandwich here. Obviously he's got nowhere to go. He's got pressure in front, pressure behind. He's currently got a war on 2 fronts right now as Kev Sim, which is going to have to be watching out for everybody around him at this stage. Shark Zulu in the meantime still ahead of PS Fitz. PS Fitz goes deep there coming through the penultimate corner. Just losing a bit of time there to Shark Zulu. Has that cost him a chance to have a crack at taking this P5? Tynus in the meantime is coming through turn 1. I reckon we are going to have 2 more laps, including this one that we're just coming on to now for Shark Zulu and PS Fitz. Totally Zero still running in 9th place ahead of Kev Sim and Crazy Legs. These guys have been putting on a very, very clean and close show here. Crazy Legs ever so wide there coming out of turn 1, really pushing the track limits to their absolute limit as we come down towards turn 1 once again. Kev Sim now defending the inside line. Crazy Legs is going to have to get this one around the long way here. Can he do it? Goes late on the brakes. He's just ahead into the braking zone, but he's got that wider line to take. And Kev Sim there getting back ahead of him coming down towards turn 2. Kev Sim maintaining that P10 just about. as they come into turn 2 once again. Totally Zero is still running in 9th place ahead of these guys, but Kevsim still can't get ahead at this point. PS Vids still all over Shaka Zulu. PS Vids needs Tynus to get over the line in time to start another lap here. He'll be hoping that Tynus does get over the line to start lap 18 of this race. Totally Zero will be hoping that he doesn't and that this race ends now, because he's got Kesim and Crazy Legs all over him at this point. But where is Tynus? What is he doing? He's coming out of the final corner, so we are going to have another lap here in this race because he's crossing over the line now. So leader is on the final lap. Tynus in the house has got one more tour of this Hungaroring circuit in this first race of the night. My stupid game has just decided to switch my view, even though I didn't ask for it to. If I don't ask for something, I don't appreciate it when it gets done. But Ludo here is actually putting up onto the back of Max Power right now. You can see this battle for the podium places starting to heat up a little bit. Oh, Max Power's dropped it out of turn 1, and Ludo there does not need a second invitation. P3 in the bag for him, and that was easy as you like. Shaka Zulu still ahead of PS Vids coming through turn 1. PS Vids looking to try and nab him if he can at the end of this race. This obviously will be the final lap of the race now, we know that for sure. PS Vids has been granted an extra opportunity here to try and take this P5. Totally Zero has been given an extra lap to defend, and I think he's lost out to them. Yes, he has. Kevsim and Crazy Legs have got through somewhere. Not sure where. Must have been a final sector for those guys. But Kevsim up into P10, or P9 should I say. Crazy Legs up into P10. TJ Carlo's in the pits, so has he underfueled? He must have underfueled. Oh, TJ Carlo, it was such a strong debut for him as well. You've got to feel for him there. That is gutting, because he'd had such a strong inception to the league, but I assume he's underfueled the car and has had to come in on the final lap to put some fuel in. He's not moving though, so has he given up? Don't know. But PS Vids all over the back of Shaka Zulu as we're coming into the final sector of the lap. Where is our race leader Tynus? He's got to be coming up towards the final few corners. Here he comes. Tynus into the end of the house, coming through the penultimate corner here for this first race of the night here at the Hungaroring for round 7 of 8 for the GT3 Sprint League at Motive. And it's going to be another victory for Tynus in the house. He's going to make it 10 wins from 13 races so far on a Wednesday night. A flash of lights from our number 13 BMW man as he takes the race win here in the first race of the night. G-Sanks is going to come over to take P2. And really did do a good job there, keeping Tynus relatively honest in that race. Ludo is going to complete the podium after taking Max Power on the final lap there. Max Power comes over to take 4th place. Shaka Zulu is going to hold on here ahead of PS Vids, just about. PS Vids maybe needed a lap or two more, but Shaka Zulu on a nice P5. PS Vids in 6th. Kangi's going to come out of the last corner here, and it's going to take home a 7th place here in this first race of the night as he comes up towards the line. Kevsim will come around in 8th, or is he going to, because he's got Crazy Legs looking to his outside here, and Crazy Legs just sneaking around him in there, up into P8, so Crazy Legs absolutely mugging Kevsim at the end there, and Crazy Legs 8th, Kevsim 9th, Totally Zero over in 10th, Snoopy comes over to take P11, Capriga coming out of the final corner is going to take 12th place here in this first race of the night. Not bad considering he started from the pits. DW Racing over in 13th place on his Motive Racing debut tonight. I haven't spoken too much about him. Hasn't done too much wrong as far as I've been able to see. Raki there in P14. Fierce Mars 15th after a scrappy race for him. Not the situation he would have wanted here tonight at all. TJ in the pits obviously retiring with a lap to go. Fednad coming out of the penultimate corner and has just got a final right-hander to go. And Fednad will be taking home P16 here in this one. As here he comes up towards the line. P16 there for Fednad. Lowell 3000 over the line to take P17. And TJ in the pits, so he's not going to cross the line. So that is that then, ladies and gentlemen, for the first race of the night. Tynus in the house taking the race win ahead of G-Sanks, and Ludo completing the podium. Max Power has got to serve his qualifying ban before this race, otherwise there is going to be absolute hell unleashed. I can promise you that. He needs to take that penalty here, because it was made very, very clear. But nonetheless, guys, we will be back very soon for the second qualifying session. We've got about 10 minutes. We'll have some radio silence between now and then. But yeah, we're back quite soon, so keep an eye out, keep your ears out, and yeah, see you in a bit. One, two, 1, 2. Sorry, I didn't turn my volume on for the first 1, 2, 1, 2, so here's another 1, 2, 1, 2. Sounds loud and clear. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive channel. We are here tonight for the second race of the night here at the Hungaroring. We had a fantastic first race of the night. We saw Tynes in the house once again taking a victory, but we saw a great battle going on for second place for the majority of the race, actually, between Max Power and G-Sanks, and G-Sanks eventually managed to find his way past. And then towards the end of the race, Ludo, I think, had done a slightly better job of saving his tyres than Max Power did, and actually managed to get ahead of Max Power onto the podium. I also saw an interesting battle as well between Shark Zulu and PS Vids. PS Vids was reading him in by about half a second a lap, but couldn't find a way through. Again, showing in the GT3 cars, you can have pace over somebody else, but if you haven't got straight line speed, you're pretty much going to be stuck. And PS Vids just could not find a way through ahead of Shark Zulu. Shark Zulu seemingly had it basically under control. But yeah, an interesting race throughout the pack, really. You know, we saw some interesting battles also between Totally Zero, Crazy Legs as well involved. TJ Carlo in some good battles on his debut. So yeah, all round a very good showing, and hoping for a similar story here in this second race of the night. Got a few comments coming in here in the little interval, little practice session in between sessions. Totally Zero says, hi. To be honest, I lost 2 positions because I thought the race was finished. Oh no, you didn't. Well, to be fair, Tyner's crossed the line, I think, with about 3 seconds left on the clock. So if he had crossed the line 3 seconds later, he would have actually that would have been the end of the race. But because he crossed the line just before the clock hit 0, we had to do one more lap, and that, I think, would have caught a couple of guys out, including himself, Totally Zero. So unlucky with that one, mate. Roby in the comments says, good race. Good to see Roby on the channel as always. And obviously he can't race tonight, he's not able to be around, but to actually be at the sim rig, but still tuning in and still giving us some support here live on the Motive Racing YouTube channel. Big shout out to Roby, and a big shout out also to you, mate, for, I know you've been reaching out in DMs to me recently, and I'm not very good at replying to advice, but I want to appreciate, I want to give you my thanks, and I do appreciate a lot of the words and a lot of the kind of advice that you've given me as well, just, yeah, behind the scenes. But obviously, yeah, massively appreciate you being around on the streams as well, and racing, and just being there for me personally as well, albeit we haven't really had much of a back and forth because it's really kind of like, I don't know, it's just, I'm not very good at responding to advice, but I do appreciate it. I do genuinely really appreciate it. It looks like Tynestow has done the fastest time here in this qualifying session, 1:44.3, just over a second clear of Kesim, so that is quite unbelievable there. Now obviously that's not going to be representative, I don't think, because I reckon that once everything's all settled down, I reckon that I reckon he probably just lit up his tyres very, very impressively there. But yeah, good turnout today. I will keep on inviting randoms with pace I find in public lobbies, says Roby. Very much appreciated, mate. Yeah, absolutely. If they've got pace, if they're clean, if they've got a good SA rating, feel free. And that goes for anybody really. If anybody's racing in public lobbies, you see a driver who you have a good battle with, or is a clean racer in general, feel free, as I say, to get them in, because we do need to fill the spaces. And obviously we want a full grid for our Wednesdays. We want 2 full grids ideally on a Sunday night. Obviously we've got the tier 1s, which is you know, the numbers have been dwindling this season, I won't lie to you, and I put a lot of effort into season 3. For season 4 I got a bit complacent. I didn't really put as much organisation and effort into season 4 as I did for season 3, because I thought, on the back of the success of season 3, which was unbelievable, we had over 40 drivers across both tiers on a Sunday night every single week, and I just thought, well, yeah, I don't really need to do much more. It's going to just kind of sort itself out from now on. And obviously that hasn't been the case. You know, we're just about scraping 30 drivers the last couple of weeks for across both tiers. So yeah, not where we want to be. So obviously I need to sort of pull my finger out, stop getting complacent, stop thinking that I've made it. I need to be looking after the leagues and making sure people are happy, making sure that we're filling the spots that people are leaving, because generally you will get dropouts throughout the course of the season. That's a given. So yeah, I need to basically sort my ends out. But guys, if you know any clean drivers, or you've got any mates who want to join, or you just see people who you think are good, solid racers, then feel free to send them the link. www.motiveracing.com is the link where you can join the Discord. You go onto the website, you click join for ACC Project Cars 2 or F1, and it takes you straight to the Discord. There's no sign up form from the website. You go onto the Discord server, and then everything is on the Discord. There's no sign up forms on the website. It's literally get yourself on the Discord. That is the starting point. That is the ticket to everything else, and then from there it's just, yeah, it's quite self-explanatory, if I'm honest. But here we are then, guys. We're moments away from the start of the formation lap. I haven't had a chance to get the championship standings up to date, and the reason why I have actually got the championship standings on my phone, the only reason why I haven't actually got them out is because I missed one of the races last week. So I've got one of the races saved on the app, but one of them isn't. So I need to update obviously the standings from last week's race 2, and then I can do this week's. But I'll have the championship standings up to date after tonight. I'm doing them on my phone after the race. I won't do it live because it's going to take too long. I've got 3 races to do. If it was one race, I could probably sort of sit on the stream for a couple of minutes, keep it going, and just keep you guys waiting. But I'm not going to sort of sit around for ages playing around with it. It's just going to be quite boring, and you're just going to hear me muttering in the background, working out what I'm doing. So you're just going to hear me clicking and muttering to myself. So it's not going to be really much entertainment value. But yeah, currently Lowell 3000 appears not to have ended up here, so he'll be starting this one from the pits. Max Power has completely ignored the fact that he's got a qualifying ban tonight, so he'll be scoring no points. He'll be getting a DQ from both races tonight, so well done, Max Power. Well done. But yeah, currently we've got 18 drivers here on the grid here, getting ready to go for the race 2 here tonight at the Hungaroring. Tynus in the house will be leading us away. Kevsim doing a good job there, putting it in P2, but the gap between Tynus and Kevsim, in my opinion, was a little bit concerning in terms of the spectacle. Hopefully Tynus just did a worldy job of warming the tyres up compared to everybody else, because otherwise it might not be the most exciting of races. But hopefully it is. Hopefully we see some good action, and hopefully we can see the others keeping tabs with him. One driver who is well out of position here for this second race is G Sanks, because he didn't manage to get a lap in for the second qualifying session, so he'll be starting this race 2 from 12th place. He's usually the driver who's able to capitalise on Tynus not getting a lap in the qualifying session, but obviously tonight he's the one who's made a mistake, and he's the one who has to suffer for it. So he's currently in 12th here at the start of this race. Where can he get to? That's going to be an interesting one tonight, to see where G Sanks can get to, because I imagine he's probably going to have a bit more fun trying to get on the podium from 12 than he would starting in second and finishing in second, say for example. I reckon he's going to have a bit more fun starting in 12, so I'm looking forward to seeing what G Sanks can do here. I reckon he can probably get into the top 5. Whether he can get up to the podium or not remains to be seen. But nonetheless, we're coming into the final sector here. We Tynus and Kevsim on the front row to get us underway. PS Fids and Max Power just behind them. We have Totally Zero, again a strong qualifying for him. P5 on the grid, Crazy Legs alongside him. What can he do in what is now his second race here on the channel after making his debut a few minutes ago? Caprigia, Raki, Fednad and DW Racing there ahead of Snoopy, G-Sanks. Then you've got Fierce Mars and Ludo, followed by Kangi and TJ Carlo, Sharkazoo and Lol 3000 starting from the pits. We've lost Dave from tonight, unfortunately. Couldn't make the second race. But still got 18 drivers on the grid here for this second race of the night. So we're in for a cracker here at the Hungaroring. As we're coming up towards the line, we'll be lights out in just a moment. And here we go then. Looks like we're underway. So it's green, 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 and Snoopy's jumped the start. So he must have gone a bit too soon there because he's got a drive-through penalty. So he'll have to do that in the first 3 laps of the race. But down towards turn 1 we go. Tynus on the inside. PS Vids has just squeezed ahead of Kevsim coming into turn 1. But Kevsim trying to hold it around the outside. PS Vids, so he's got that one done up into second place. Totally Zero getting a bit of a slide there on the exit of turn 1. But he's got Max Power looking up his inside here. As Max Power's trying to come back at Totally Zero actually. But Max Power attacks Kevsim in the rear. And Kevsim there, unfortunately, almost getting tagged around there. Managing to hold on to it. But loses a couple of places there. As that is Crazy Legs squeezing through ahead of both Kevsim and Totally Zero. So Crazy Legs up into P4 here on the back of Max Power. As we almost got 3 wide in the background. That looks like an accident waiting to happen there. Caprigia moving through up into 5th place. Totally Zero squeezing ahead of Kevsim. Then you've got Raki there running just behind them. So Raki having a much better showing in this second race so far. 3 corners in, I say that. But currently he's just ahead of the Lexus of... That's G-Sanks there on the outside of Raki as they're coming into the chicane. As he goes straight on there over the chicane. G-Sanks a bit naughty there. Would have got a warning for that one for sure. Track limits warning. You can get 3 of those before you get a penalty. So maybe a bit of a strategic track limits there from G-Sanks early in the race. Knows he doesn't want to get involved in a crash and probably thinking could be quite a sensible move as long as he doesn't end up getting 3 of them. But Tynerson House leading ahead of PS Vids with Max Power there in 3rd place. There's Crazy Legs ahead of Caprigia, followed by Totally Zero, then Kevsim running ahead of G-Sanks. You've got Raki ahead of Ludo. We've got Sharkazoo looking down the inside here of Fednad, and he's going to make that manoeuvre there, but Fednad's trying to keep it around the outside as we come down towards the penultimate corner. Sharkazoo is going to move himself through up into 11th place. Beautifully done there from him. Fierce Mars there going a little bit wide, and TJ Carlo squeezing through the gap there up into 13th. Can Fierce Mars come back at him here into the final corner? He's looked back down the inside again and squeezing back through there. So Fierce Mars there getting himself through back up into 13th place. Those two swapping places here at the end of the first lap, but it's currently Tynus leading ahead of PS Vids, who's having to defend here from Max Power into turn 1 as we've got G-Sanks now looking on the back of Kevsim. Raki here is trying to defend from Ludo, but Ludo's going to swoop around the outside of turn 1 and Ludo's going to look to try and get the run down towards turn 2. They're going to be side by side here. Raki trying to get a better exit as they're going to be all the way down towards turn 2. But I think that Ludo on the inside should have that manoeuvre completed here on Raki. Raki's not giving this one up though. He's still there, still trying to hang it around the outside. But Ludo gets the move done, and Raki's going to have to watch out because he's got Sharkazoo now attacking on the back of him as well as they come out at turn 3. As the drive-through penalty there has now been cleared. So that's obviously that's now done there for Lol 3000. But Sharkazoo here now behind Raki, and he's now got Fednad looking around his outside as well. Fednad has got the grip there on the outside coming down towards the chicane. Side by side between these two, Sharkazoo just keeping it ahead of him for the time being. Fierce Mars trying to attack on the back of Fednad as well. We've got a real close battle here, close quarters between these guys as Kangi trying to get the move done on TJ Carlo as well. Kangi obviously not the best of grid positions here for his second race of the night, but he's currently made up a couple of places here at the start of this race. In the meantime, Tynus has got a 3-second lead over PS Vids and Max Power, who are batting it out over 2nd and 3rd places. Crazy Legs there running in 4th place. You've got Totally Zero, who's just been passed there by G-Sanks. So G-Sanks up into P6 here in this race. Kevsim right behind these guys with Ludo as well. And Ludo's gapped Raki by a little bit, well, by quite a bit actually, over the course of this lap so far. But Sharkazoo is still behind Raki. That's Fierce Mars there onto the grass coming through the penultimate corner. So he's now lost out to TJ Carlo and Kangi. And I think that DW Racing's got him as well. He has. So DW Racing there up into P15. With Fierce Mars is in a mistake there, so he's down to P16 in this race. It's been a bit of a nightmare there for Fierce Mars. Max Power still trying to put the pressure here on PS Vids. G-Sanks has managed to gap Totally Zero a little bit. Kevsim has got Ludo looking up his inside, in fact around his outside should I say. And Ludo's actually done the move there on Kevsim, but he goes a little bit deep there into turn 2. Does he get it turned in? Ludo there trying to keep it around the outside and does hold on to it there. So Ludo completes that move up into 8th place. No dramas there as DW a little bit deep, and that's going to allow Fierce Mars to swoop around the outside here and gets himself up into P15 very, very easily there for him. excited start to this race 2 here tonight at Motive for the GT3 Sprint League here on a Wednesday night. Obviously round 7 of 8 for this season, penultimate round, and this one race 14 obviously of a 16 race season altogether. We've got 2 more races next week to finish this season off, and that'll be the season done and dusted. I don't know how close Tynes is to wrapping up the championship yet. He can't be that far away from sealing the deal here. He's had that strong of a season. As I said, he has won so far this season. He's won 10 out of the 13 races. Can he make it 11 from 14 here in this second race of the night here? Currently Max Power's dropping off the back of PS Fitz ever so slightly here. You can see it's now best part of a second between those two. G-Sanks is now all over the back of Caprighi here as they're coming down the start-finish straight. In the background, Ludo's also on the back of Totally Zero as well. But coming down towards turn 1, here we go. G-Sanks pulling to the outside now of Caprighi, should I say. Caprighi defending the inside line, but powerless to defend. G-Sanks swoops around the outside there, up into P5 as Totally Zero's now got Ludo around his outside here at turn 1. Ludo's going to try and get the traction here, looking down towards turn 2, but he's too far back and he's going to have to really send it here if he's going to make this manoeuvre happen. Totally Zero goes late enough on the brakes to keep it ahead of him. Does he go deep into turn 2 though? Potentially might be compromised for 3. No, Totally Zero holds onto that one quite comfortably there ahead of Ludo for the time being. Sharks is on the back of Raki in this battle for P10 as well. Oh no, somebody's lost it there. Was that Totally Zero bidding it? No, it wasn't Totally Zero. It was... trying to work out who that was. Somebody lost it coming out of turn 3. I don't know who it was though. I can't figure out for the life of me who it was. Somebody did definitely bin it coming out of turn 3. I just got to wait for the timing board to update. Sure, it was a McLaren. It was Raki. Yeah, it was Raki. It was a McLaren of Raki. So Raki there into the pits with damage repairs, and this race 2 was going quite well for him, but it's all gone up in smoke there. What a shame. As PS Vid's still battling with Max Power. These guys 4 seconds behind your race leader Tyner still in this race. Crazy Legs has got G-Sanks all over the back of him here, but G-Sanks still can't make the move on him. Still has to tuck him for the time being as Ludo looking to the inside of Totally Zero, but still too far back at this point. Plenty of battles going on at this still relatively early stage here in this second race of the night though. What a shame for Raki though, bringing it out of turn 3. And obviously with damage on the car, he might be a little while before he'll be back out on track, but hopefully we'll be able to see him getting some laps in before the end of this race. But yeah, just to let everybody know, we'll be finishing next season, we'll be finishing the season off next week at Circuit of the Americas, so that'll be where the final race of the season is held, which would be a great little backdrop actually, because we've got Circuit of the Americas, I think is the closer for the Sprint League, and we've got Indianapolis is actually the finale for the GT3 Championship on a Sunday. So we've got an all-American final week here on ACC at Motive for the PlayStation 5. That will be quite atmospheric, but currently G-Sanks still ahead of Crazy... actually, G-Sanks is still ahead of Crazy Legs, so I don't know we made that move there. Must have done it in the first sector somewhere, but G-Sanks, they're up into 4th place, so he's obviously made that happen somewhere out there. Ludo is still looking all over the back of Totally Zero, but it's a little bit wide there though, coming out of turn 5, but keeping it pinned nicely at this point. PS Vid still can't. PS Vid's lost out to Max Power, so Max Power's ahead in P2 now. Don't know where he made that move, but Max Power's up into 2nd place. He's been on the back of PS Vid's for a little while, and he's now got that move done. Totally Zero still weathering this storm from Ludo, who is really piling the pressure on him at this point. There's Kev Sim in the background ahead of Shark Azuli, followed by TJ Carlo. But let's stay with this battle for 7th place, because Ludo really starting to creep closer to the back of Totally Zero here. Totally Zero is going to be feeling the pressure and probably not too far away from making a mistake. Ludo's made a mistake here, and Kev Sim's going to sweep through up into 8th place, or is he? No, because Ludo keeps it around the outside for the penultimate corner and just stays ahead of Kev Sim by the skin of his teeth there. But Ludo with a little mistake coming through the 3rd to last corner, which almost cost him P8 there, as he was trying to attack on the back of Totally Zero, but couldn't make it happen. Max Power's now gapped PS Fitz by a little bit. Can he now try and chase Tynus down? I have a feeling I know the answer to that one. But Totally Zero, in the meantime, still just ahead of Ludo. Ludo's got Kev Sim close on him into turn 1, but not close enough. Ferdinand close to the back of Fierce Miles into turn 1, but not close enough still in this race. Ludo still sat on the back of Totally Zero, but no dice for him just yet in that fight for 7th place. Luraki still in the pits. Is he planning on exiting the pits, or is he going to watch the race from here on in? Is he going to sit in the comfort of his pit garage? Got to stick with this battle for 7th place because Kevsim is now on the back of Ludo here. So Ludo has obviously been on the back of Totally Zero now for some time, but he's got pressure now from behind, which is probably going to hasten his desire to get ahead. So he's saying, I'm going to defend for my life now in the comments. He has been pushing it, but he's going to lose out here, I think, because Ludo's got around the outside coming into the penultimate corner. Ludo with the inside line. Totally Zero just pushing into him a little bit there, trying to put him off, but he's got that move there as Ludo even. Kevsim now looking to try and get ahead of him as well, should I say. But in fact, Ludo, what happened there? Ludo just backed out a bit there, coming out into the final corner. What happened there? So Ludo's now lost out to Kevsim, Shark Zulu, and TJ Carlo moving through. What has gone on there with Ludo? Why did he just back out of it like that? I don't understand. So Totally Zero is still in 7th place. Kevsim looking to try and send one into turn 1, but he's too far back. Ludo now looking back around the outside here of TJ Carlo on the exit of turn 1, but TJ's going to hold on to that one for now. And Ludo has just lost 3 places. I'm not quite sure what he was doing there. Over a minute of damage, says Luraki. Oh, mate, that sounds agonising. Guido Chris there says, where is the fastest McLaren driver, Robe? Unfortunately, he's not here tonight. Guido couldn't be here, but he is still in the comments. If you read up a little bit, you can see he's eating some goulash. Mate, I think you've seen the password for tonight. Not that it matters now, obviously. Well, it does actually, to be fair, because I mean, hopefully there's no wannabe kamikazes watching this stream thinking, oh, I might fancy some of this. I can't imagine anybody's that sad, if I'm perfectly honest with you. But currently, Totally Zero is still leading this train of cars. Oh, now I've said that, now some fucker will. Just my luck. But in the meantime, Kevsim here looking down the inside of TJ Carlo. He's going to squeeze through here. Can he keep himself just ahead there? It's pretty much neck and neck through this sequence. Kevsim's going to squeeze ahead of TJ Carlo, pushing him off of the track. TJ Carlo onto the runoff area. As down towards the final sector we go. Kevsim on the inside here. TJ Carlo keeping it around the outside there brilliantly and getting himself back up into 9th place again. So these two swapping positions, trading paint a little bit. We saw a bit of a bump between them. Ludo there waiting in the wings behind these guys. He's going to be frustrated that he threw away what could have been a battle for P7 with Totally Zero a lap or so ago. Shark Zulu's now pinned on the back of Totally Zero in that battle, but coming out of the last corner once again. Ludo here still just ahead of Kevsim as they come over the start finish line to start lap 8 of the race. As Kangi here looking to the inside of Kevsim into turn 1, but he's too far back just at the moment. Shark Zulu's now got a bit of a run here on the outside of Totally Zero. These two are side by side coming down towards turn 2. Totally Zero, if he's got his wits about him, should be able to hold on to this one because he's got the inside here and should be able to get the exit coming out of turn 2. And Totally Zero maintains P7 for the time being. This battle for P7 continues to rage on here between Totally Zero and Shark Zulu. This has allowed TJ Carlo and Ludo just to reel them in a little bit, just to pick up a bit of the lost time over the last lap or so. Shark Zulu now looking to the outside here on Totally Zero into the chicane, but can't get it around because Totally Zero just covering the space off there. Doing a very nice job at the moment is Totally Zero, putting his car in the right places here. So we are approaching the midway point here in this second race of the night. As Shark Zulu really wide there, that might allow TJ Carlo a bit of a run here down the hill. But has TJ got Ludo up his inside? He has, and Ludo there's going to send one there down the inside of TJ Carlo, but TJ Carlo doing a great job there, getting the traction out of the corner, keeping the grip and maintaining his momentum there. And TJ Carlo still holding on by the skin of his teeth there for that ninth position. Ludo a bit wide there on the exit of the penultimate corner. Still ahead of Kevsim though, but Ludo making a bit of a meal of this at the moment with the rookie TJ Carlo, the debutant tonight, currently being the thorn in his side. TJ Carlo still keeping on the back of Shark Zulu, and this has allowed Totally Zero just another chance to break away a little bit here. He's been handed lifeline after lifeline with all of these cars behind him. As TJ looking to the inside of Shark Zulu into turn 1, but can't make the move. And it's still as you were between all of these guys. 11 of you currently watching the stream, guys. Smash the like button if you're enjoying what you're watching here tonight. What a show these guys are putting on. Shark Zulu currently in the meat in the sandwich. He's got TJ looking to his outside. Shark Zulu's going to try and get the better exit here. And he's just going to squeeze back through. TJ's still there though. But Shark Zulu gets a better run there. And Shark Zulu's going to be... Sorry, TJ's going to be compromised there. And that's going to allow Ludo through. Ludo seizes on that up into P8. Says, thank you very much, mate. Or P9, should I say. And Ludo there now up into P9 onto the back of Shark Zulu, looking to try and get himself into 8th place. This has allowed Totally Zero though to absolutely run off ahead of these guys. He's now got clear track and nobody in sight here as Ludo looking to the inside there on the inside of Shark Zulu, but can't make the move for now then. Still as you were between these guys. What a battle this is in the mid-pack. What a fight this train of cars is putting on. It's Totally Zero, Shark Zulu, Ludo, TJ Carlo, Kev Sim, Kangi, Fierce Mars on the back of them as well. You basically got 7 cars here fighting it out in the mid-pack here for this Motive Sprint League. Round 7 of the season, race 2 of the night here. Ludo looking down the inside into the final sector of the lap we go. Still not close enough at this point though. And still trying to wait for his opportunity here. Into turn 1 we come once again. Ludo looking to the inside of Shark Zulu, but he's too far back. Still no opportunities really presenting himself at this stage. In the meantime, it looks like G Sanks has pulled up onto the back of PS Fizz. This is for a podium spot here. These guys are a couple of seconds behind Max Power, who obviously will be DQ'd from both races tonight. He was supposed to serve a qualifying ban. He's elected to not bother with that. Obviously he's got licence points from his indiscretions, but it'll be a straight up DQ in both races tonight. No points for him. Oh, Totally Zero really wide there, and Shark Zulu's going to get a run. Surely Shark Zulu's going to punish Totally Zero for that little mistake there. No, he still can't. But in the background, Kangi making a move down the inside of Kev Sim. He's going to get that one done up into 11th place. Kev Sim knows trying to keep it there on the inside for the penultimate corner. Kangi trying to hold it around the outside. Closes the door a little bit, but has to give him the space because Kev Sim's there on the inside. Kangi will have the inside for the final corner. Kev Sim a bit sideways there. Kangi back down the inside here. They're still side by side. Great battle here between these guys. Fierce Mars now looking down the inside of Kev Sim here on the exit of the final corner. But Fierce Mars didn't get the exit out of the corner because he had to take a tighter line there. Kev Sim will have the momentum here down the straight. These two are going to be pretty close coming into turn 1. Fierce Mars on the inside. He's just ahead of Kev Sim here coming into the braking zone. Did somebody go straight on there into turn 1? I think they did. Yeah, Ludo! Ludo's gone straight on. He's into the wall here at turn 1. What has happened there to Ludo? I don't know what's gone on there with him, but he's got big damage there on the front of the car, and I think that's his race over. He's getting it back on the track. He's continuing on, but Ludo here is going to lose places. He's probably going to drop down to the back, I would imagine, down to 17th place, which is currently occupied by Lord 3000. But Ludo is going to be fuming with that. Was that his own mistake, or was he caught up in an incident with another driver there? All I saw was a car going straight on into turn 1 as I was watching Fierce Mars on the back of Kev Sim, and Ludo was the car who I spotted. But Totally Zero in the meantime has now lost out to TJ Carlo. TJ Carlo's up into 8th place. Can he now chase down Shark Zulu here in the final third of this second race of the night here at the Hungaroring? What a night we've had here at Motive. Great driving from all the guys. Fantastic battles across the field. Totally Zero a bit wide there. Is he going to allow Kangi an opportunity to get his nose in? As Kestimir looking down the inside of Kangi, but too far back at the moment. But this has been absolutely fantastic racing tonight, I've got to say. Hungaroring has not disappointed here. I've absolutely loved this. Probably the best round of the season I think we've had in terms of the GT3 Sprint League. Good turnout, but not just the turnout, just the racing has been absolutely superb. Really spectacular display from the Motive drivers here on the PlayStation 5 tonight, as PS Vids covering the inside from G-Sanks. G-Sanks is looking for a cutback but can't get it at the moment. And PS Vids holding on to his podium position for now, but he's got to hold on for another 10 minutes yet. That's going to be around a 6 or 7 lap hold out here for him if he is to manage to do it. TJ Carlo putting it up into the back of Shaka Zulu as Kangi's down the inside of Totally Zero. Totally Zero goes a little bit wide there, almost onto the marbles, but that's going to allow Kevsim up the inside. And Kevsim there is going to mug both of them up into P7 there. Great manoeuvre there from Kevsim. Or was it P8? It might have been P8 actually, but no, P9 should I say. But Kevsim there making the move on Totally Zero and Kangi. What a superb opportunistic manoeuvre there from him, as Totally Zero stood ahead of Kangi, but Kevsim managing to capitalise on both of those two, focusing on each other, slowing each other down, obviously giving each other the space, and Kevsim there up into 9th place. Brilliant move there from him. Fierce Mars stood on the back of his pack. These four have dropped off of the battle between Shaka Zulu and TJ Carlo. I thought it was for P7, but obviously these two have broken away from that battle, so they are now well clear of this particular fight. But TJ getting closer to the back of Shaka Zulu here. There's Kevsim, there's Totally Zero, Kangi, Fierce Mars, and then Fednav a long way behind them guys, running in 13th place right now. We've lost the driver from the session, that's Ludo. I can't say I'm surprised with that incident into turn 1. I think that was, I was waiting for that one to happen, to be honest with you. But TJ Carlo on the back of Shaka Zulu here as they're coming over the line to start lap 13 of the race. I think he's too far back just at the moment. He's looking to the inside there, trying to throw a little feint, but not close enough at this stage. Kangi in the meantime looking to the outside of Totally Zero into turn 1, but Totally Zero covers that one off for the time being. TJ Carlo threw a little feint to the inside there on Shaka Zulu, but to no avail. He's not close enough. In the background there, Fierce Mars looking down the inside of Kangi. Can he make the move? No, he still can't. But he's going to look to try and get a cut back here into the penultimate corner. Fierce Mars here down the inside, and Kangi tries to turn in, but he's not going to be able to turn in because Fierce Mars is on the inside. That there, a racing incident between the two of them. I don't really know who was at fault. It's difficult to see from that angle. It looked to me like Kangi could have probably given Fierce Mars some space. He turned in at speed, and Fierce Mars there I think was entitled to be on the inside there. He made that move up the inside. I think Kangi could have given him some more space. Kangi's rage quit now from the session, and Fierce Mars forced to continue on in P12. In the meantime, Shaka Zulu and TJ still battling over P7 at this point. And in the meantime, G-Sanks is into 3rd place now, so he's ahead of he's made the move on PS5 up into the podium positions, and he's within 2 seconds of max power as well. So can G-Sanks cap off a fantastic comeback drive here? Let's not forget he started in P12 for this second race, and he's running in 3rd place at the moment. Can he nab 2nd place here in this race? Now, that would be a spectacular performance if he can do that. He's only 15 seconds off of the leader Tynus, and considering he had to make his way through traffic, he's had to gain 9 places. He's had to come from 12th on the grid. So you know, if he's being 15 seconds behind Tynus at this stage, having had to come back through the pack, that's a pretty spectacular job there from G-Sanks, you've got to say. But his next target is max power here, who, as I said, shouldn't even be in this position because he was supposed to serve a qualifying ban, but for whatever reason decided that he's above the rules, and as a result will score 0 points for this week. He'll be excluded from the results. It'll be a DQ essentially from both races here tonight for him. TJ Carlo still all over the back of Sharky Zulu as they're coming through the final corner. Out to start there, 15th laps of the race. You can see TJ looking a bit closer to the back of Sharky Zulu here. In the background, Kevin got it really out of shape there. Almost went into the wall. Did a good job there of saving that one. But Sharky Zulu here has got TJ looking to his inside into turn one. TJ looking up the inside. Is he going to send one? He goes late on the brakes and has to take evasive action there because he knew he'd gone deep. And I think he just lightly tapped Sharky Zulu there. But if he hadn't taken evasive action, that could have been a lot worse. Sharky Zulu maintaining 7th place for the time being. But TJ Carlo is getting a little bit closer lap after lap. And maybe the next time he might not need to take evasive action. He might be able to actually make that move on him. But Sharky Zulu there, still running in P7 for the time being. PS Fids is not giving up in this battle with G Sanks. I tell you what, he's keeping it within a second at the moment. So PS Fids is keeping G Sanks honest here. And both of these two are also reeling in max power at this stage. So I wouldn't rule out PS Fids for podium just yet. He's only 2 seconds behind max power, and obviously we'll see whether or not these two can get onto the back of him before the end of this race. Tynus in the meantime is coming to the final corner. He's about to start lap 16, so I think we're going to have another 18 lap race, more than likely. So Tynus comes over the line here, so yeah, it's going to be another 18 lap race comfortably. He's going to easily start an 18th lap with something with quite some in hand as well. But max power is still just under 2 seconds ahead of G Sanks. PS Fids is getting closer to the back of G Sanks now. Obviously G Sanks caught up to him and passed him, but PS Fids is not giving up in this one. TJ Carlo still on the back of Sharky Zulu. Raki in the pits has been in there since the early stages. But TJ driving a strong debut here tonight. Has been in the thick of the battles. Has been there or thereabouts in all the races. He's been doing a really exciting job here tonight. He's an exciting new prospect here for the Motive Leagues. Obviously, breath of fresh air to see a driver who clearly knows what he's doing, and well, I say a breath of fresh air, obviously a new driver, because you often do worry when you see a new driver come in. You think, oh god, are they going to be alright? But I double checked to make sure that that people could vouch for him. TJ obviously has got friends in the league. DW obviously a friend of TJ's, as well as Crazy Legs. So yeah, these guys, they know what they're doing, and obviously TJ here has put on an absolutely fantastic show as he's all over the back of Sharky Zulu into turn 4, but not close enough at the moment. Still, Sharky Zulu goes a little bit wide though. TJ looking around the outside of turn 5. Can he get the grip though on the off the racing line? You can see there Sharky Zulu pushing him to the edge of the track. TJ Carlo though has got the move completed there. A superb manoeuvre around the outside of turn 5. Into the 6 and 7 chicane we go. TJ Carlo up into P7. He's finally made it stick there. Sharky Zulu could do absolutely nothing about it. And TJ Carlo now, well, he's 4 seconds behind Capriga, so I think that Capriga should be safe in that P6. But nonetheless, TJ Carlo, a very strong showing on his Motive Racing debut tonight. And he can come away from this with his head held high, and hopefully he'll be racing with us. Oh no! No, he's picked up a drive-through. Oh, what a shame. With only a lap or two to go as well. If he had just held it together for another lap or two, he would have reaped the benefits of a fantastic showing. But unfortunately, he's going to have to come in and do that drive-through, and he's going to have to do it now, otherwise he won't get a chance to do it, and he's going to have to come in at the first opportunity here. So TJ Carlo will probably, I'd say, drop down to about 11th place, I would imagine, because there's a bit of a gap between Fednad and DW. So I reckon P11 will probably be where TJ will come out, which is a far cry from where he was looking to be obviously just a moment ago. But Max Power still running in second place. G Sanks almost in a second of him. PS Fids is coming with him as well, so both G Sanks and PS Fids are coming for Max Power at this stage. Can Max Power hold on though, as we've got drive through cleared now for car number 27. That's obviously DW. No, not DW, sorry, I mean, sorry, TJ Carlo, should I say, sorry. Thinking of new drivers, and DW came out of my mouth, but well, I'm talking about TJ Carlo. TJ Carlo, I think, actually, it's come out in P10, so a bit higher than I expected there, but nonetheless, we've got a battle for P2 raging on here between Max Power, G-Sanks and PS Vids. Can Max Power hold on for one more lap here? Tinus is just starting the final lap of the race now. And PS Vids trying to come back at G-Sanks in the final closing stages of this race. Here we come over the line to start the final lap of the race. Max Power's got to be smart about this, but obviously he'll lose the position anyway because, as I said before, he's obviously broken the rules a little bit. PS Vid's a bit of a slide there coming through turn 2. That would have lost him a bit of time here to these two. But it's a hard track to overtake here at Hungaroring. You really need to be sort of on somebody for a number of laps to really be able to find a way through. G-Sanks has only really just arrived on the back of Max Power here, so Max Power should probably be able to hold on, I would have thought. What can Max Power do? What can G-Sanks do here on the back of Max Power? Coming into the final half a lap here at the Hungaroring. I reckon Max Power should be able to see this one out, unless he makes a simply horrendous mistake in the final part of the lap. We've seen last lap battles between Max Power and PS Vids before. Last lap of season 2, we saw PS Vids making a move for the win on Max Power. No such things, I think, on this occasion. PS Vids has got a car between them, but Tinus in the house nonetheless is coming out the final corner, and it's going to be 2 from 2 tonight here at the Hungaroring. How many times have we said 2 from 2 for Tinus in this GT3 Sprint League this season? He's taken yet another one here, and a superb display, a very dominant win in his second race. The first race didn't go, I mean, his gap wasn't that big in the first race, but the second race, absolutely one-sided as anything. It's going to be Max Power over to take second place on the track, but he will lose out because he was going to get a DQ from both races for the aforementioned indiscretion. G-Sanks and PS Vids essentially second and third places here, completing the podium. Crazy Legs is going to come up towards the line. It's going to be a P5 here for him. On his debut, a really strong performance from him. Caprigia coming out of the final corner will bring it home in 6th place. A few seconds clear of Sharkazoo, who's going to bring it home in 7th. And he's just over a second ahead of Kevsim, who's going to come over in 8th place here in the end. Totally Zero will bring it home in 9th. And Fednad is just coming through the final corner here. And it's going to be a 10th place finish here for Fednad. So here he comes over the line. TJ Carlo up towards the line to finish in 11th. DW Racing here is going to finish this one in 12th. A couple of seconds ahead of Snoopy, who will come over in 13th place. Fierce Miles and Raki are both retired in the pits. Lower 3000 will be the last driver to finish the race here in P14 as he comes out of the final corner in a very battered up Audi there. But Tinus in the house, Max Power and G-Sanks, your podium finishes on the track. But Max Power will be DQ'd, so it's Tinus, G-Sanks and PS Vids, your top 3 for this second race of the night. Thanks everybody for joining us once again here on the Motive Racing YouTube channel here for the Sprint League tonight on a Wednesday. We'll be back for next week for the finale of the season. It's flown this season, I'll tell you that, it really has. But we'll be back next week for the finale at Circuit of the Americas. So join us at 8 PM at the usual time to see if Tinus in the house can wrap up his championship. I don't know if he's wrapped it up already. I'll get the points up after tonight and we'll get that up. But I did actually read the standings out at the end of last week on the stream, so there is some idea. But yeah, I'll get those up to date sort of like now-ish. But yeah, thanks everybody guys for joining us once again. Join us on Sunday night. We're back on ACC on Sunday at 7 PM for Tier 2 with the Tier 1s on at 8:30. We'll be at Silverstone at that one for that one. Also join us tomorrow night if you tomorrow night if you fancy for the Project Cars 2 BTCC, which will be at 8:30 PM UK time, and we will be at Donington Park on the GP circuit for that one. We've done a lot of races at Donington this week. We raced obviously there for the GT3 Championship here on ACC. We then were there for the Clio Cup on Tuesday night on Project Cars 2, and we're back there on Project Cars 2, as I said, tomorrow night for the BTCC. F1 will also be returning on Friday night for the Singapore Grand Prix at 6:40 p.m. UK time. As I said, we're at Silverstone on Sunday for the GT3 Championship for both Tiers 2 and Tier 1. And then the Clio Cup returns on Tuesday for the final round of the season on Project Cars 2. Next week we will be at Silverstone National for that one. And as I already said, next week, Circuit of the Americas will be the finale for this GT3 Sprint League. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to get off. Thanks everybody again, and yeah, good night.